I don't know if I've addressed this, and I think I was talking about this in the video there that Daisy happily destroyed for me. It was what I find, other things I found good with GF Strong. Maybe this will be a repeat video, or maybe it won't be. I don't know. I'm just going to go with it. I'm kind of into this scenario. Just keep chatting your ears off. You guys are a good audience, good company, I guess. A cool thing that GF Strong had, and one of the cool things that I found there was this like warm pool, 92 degrees or whatever. It's like you're taking a bath, and there you are, learning how to use your, your challenge and your arm sagging, and you can't move your arm at all, or at least you don't think you can move your arm. You move your fingers, but when you're sitting there and lying in bed or standing up and you actually go for the arm maneuver, nothing seems to move. So you're questioning if you have the ability. I mean, strangely enough, fingers kind of work, or you're getting some nerve pathways reaching that far, yet you're not able to move your arm. So when you're sitting in that pool and everything floats and you're not being challenged with gravity, if you have any ability to move your arm, you'll be able to do it in the pool. And thus, what little ability that you have to engage in will be vastly improved if you spend the time and energy in the pool to exert yourself to make your arm work. You'll actually find you have some range, and if you don't have the range, you can build up to a range as long as it works, and you'll get a little excited about it, and you'll go basically, you can't wait till the next time you go to the pool because, hey, your arm's working, and then you're standing, and it's very cool to stand without a cane, especially when you're first doing it, and your weight is supported by your leg, even if it is only 3 pounds of your weight, because you're in essence almost floating. But there you are, you're standing on your own, and with the help of the water. But the more times you go in the water, and the more you exert yourself, and the muscles get used, and nerves, and so on, and you sort of get comfortable with little movements. That pool also has all these steps. It's not like a regular pool where you get into the 2 or 3 foot range, and then in no time you're in the, I don't know, 8, 10 foot range, or 12, whatever the deal is. The deep part of this pool is, again, up to your chin. So, and for every 3 feet you move in either direction, you're now engaging in a step up or a step down. So as you feel comfortable being chin deep in water and only having to put 2 pounds pressure or 3 pounds pressure on your legs for support, it's easily done. And as you have some confidence and some ability that you can do better, you just move up or advance to a higher step, and then you do your next workouts at that level, at which point a little more confidence, some learned balance, it's all cool, and then so on. So for every week or so, you find yourself, you'll be climbing up a step and supporting more weight and engaging your muscles in your leg to do what they're supposed to do. Bend your knee and use your thigh and quads and all these muscles which have, dwindled to almost nothing over your stint of time where you haven't moved anything. So that was cool. The pool. I was in there whenever there was an opening to do it. I tried to, get other people to go in there, like my friend Paul. Yeah, I would tell him like, hey, it's a good place to learn how to do it, whatever. But again, you have to be enthusiastic and want to improve, and not succumb to, zoning out on drugs and all that kind of mess. So, I was, I guess I had more, a little passion or a little more excitement towards it because I was rewarded with getting it back in less time. I mean, a lot of people struggle with their paralysis for long periods of time, and I was somehow blessed, or I guess my damage was not as bad as theirs. In any case, the pool is very cool. And I think I mentioned in the last one, the cooking. That was awesome. There were game nights where you can get into social little gatherings with your acquaintances or friends or people that at least were somewhat interested in doing something other than just lying in bed and waiting to rot. There were, games. There was like Pictionary and Monopoly or checkers or chess, and I don't remember. I think the one I would get into is the word one. What was it called there? I forget. All the little letters and spelling. So you have like 7 wooden blocks and pick letters. And they all have markings and I played that. What's that thing called again? And the board has got triple letter scores and double letter scores and double word scores. You know what I'm talking about. I just can't remember the name. But early in the game, when I had such trauma and brain damage or whatever, I didn't like spelling things anyways. But there's a game I was playing, not out of fun, although it was in the name of fun. I was engaged in it to challenge the brain and take some letters and spell things and use some imagination and use it under the guidelines. It was fun, a game, and hang out with some people that were trying to be fun, and have a cup of coffee and had a few treats, cookies and whatever. There was nothing else to do there. You had your classrooms right up to the 4 o'clock or whatever it was, and you had your dinner from 4 or 5 till 6. But after 6 o'clock, you're sitting in that hospital again. The good thing about Geo Strong was you had the ability and you were allowed to walk around in the halls. They actually wanted you to. You were allowed to go into the lunchroom or the dinner room or whatever you want to call it. I met up with the same 3 or 4 or 5 guys every couple of days, and we'd be outside. They'd be hacking a butt. I didn't smoke, but I'd get outside and get some air and enjoy some sunshine and so on. So you meet them and you have a few chat, a few words, hear their stories. You get to tell yours. Some pretty fantastic stories about what people are dealing with and what they've gotten back. But we made arrangements to go play Texas Hold'em. Of course, no money, because for anybody that had a brain, they'd be stealing it from the people that didn't have a brain. One of the guys we were playing with, I don't remember his name right offhand, but he had his accident while he was out on a sky train there during Patrick's Day. Got into a bit of a bender, was drunk out of his tree, and sort of like fell forward while one of those sky trains was going through the station and hit him hard. And he was lucky to survive, and his part of his damage was his brain damage. So here he is playing cards, and we're betting, fake money, chips, and all that. There'd be like on the flop, the river, and whatever you want to call that stuff, because I'm not going to talk about it. Anyways, there'd be like two pairs showing. There'd be like, say, kings and queens. And he couldn't understand the concept that all of us, with our shared hands with those two cards we're holding on the flop of 5 cards, of course we're all carrying the same hand. We all have 2 kings and 2 queens showing. So unless you had the other king or queen in those 2 cards, you had the same hand as everybody else. So he bet heavy, and it's kind of funny after a while, because he'd be sitting there betting a pot kind of a deal, and he was sitting with a 2 and 3 in his hand. Couldn't get the concept that we all had kings and queens, and somebody that had anything better than a 2 or 3 would win the hand just for high card. Well, that's kind of the one of the things that you're dealing with. He seemed to have his wits. We talked conversations. He can recall the accident and what he used to do and all that kind of deal. But when it came to some sort of reasoning, fell short.